What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be customizing a pair of Jordan 1s. I do a lot of Jordan 1s, but I'm going to do a vlog, so I'm going to show you guys like the behind the scenes of me working on a project like this, besides the fact that I already taped it up and I already acetone and got it ready for paint. But right now I'm cleaning my airbrush, trying to get it ready for spray so I can spray the backgrounds. It's going to be two different colored shoes. One's going to be SpongeBob with yellow, other one's going to be pink with Patrick. So I'm just going to start vlogging and doing videos I think might be fun, and just start posting it and being authentic and showing you guys the real me, and then showing you guys what it looks like when I'm working on a project. So we're going to do that. I'm going to unclog this airbrush, then we're going to go ahead and spray it over here. Okay, so I got the airbrush all ready to go, and now I'm just mixing up some paint. A lot of the paint that I use is just Angelus product, so I'll bring you down here. I just mixed up some paint with, this is just an empty Angelus can bottle. I got Angelus white, and then some 2 Thin. So if you're going to use Angelus, which is a good brand for shoe paint, you're going to want to mix it with 2 Thin before going through the airbrush. What 2 Thin is going to do is it's obviously just going to make it thin so it can run through the airbrush. 2 Thin. And so it's about half and half. So half paint, half 2 Thin is about the ratio. You don't have to measure it. I haven't measured it ever. I just kind of guess. And if it's too thick to go through, you'll start to learn if you're going to airbrush, if it can go through the airbrush. So I'm running that through so I can spray. I have a vinyl cutout right here. You can't see it actually. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a, oh yeah, you can see it. There's a sticker right here. Sorry. There's a sticker right here that's on there. So I'm gonna spray the background and then peel a sticker up. And then you'll have a good silhouette for me to go hand paint in. So this one's gonna be pink, this one's gonna be yellow. So we're gonna start with the pink. This consistency is actually pretty good right here. It should be able to drip. Okay, so here's my airbrush setup. I have my airbrush that's hooked up to a compressor, but if it's mixed well enough, this paint should run through the airbrush really well, but I guess we will see. But right before I paint, when I have a stencil laid down, right before I paint, I go ahead and if I have a vinyl stencil laid down, I take my heat gun, which is actually just a hairdryer. You can get a heat gun, but I find a hairdryer works just as well. And I'm gonna heat gun the stencil. And doing that allows this, then you just take your finger, you push it down. Doing that allows it to stick better, and it won't peel up, so you won't get paint underneath it, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because you can paint over it, but there we go. So I'm gonna show you guys the painting. Okay, so after you got the first coat on, or after every coat, you should just heat it up so it's dry to the touch. And then after the first coat, I recommend letting it dry 15 to 20 minutes. And then after the next coats, you can do 5 to 10 after that. But first coat, you want to do really light because you don't want the paint to crack. So you got to let it dry, do a very light. You shouldn't even be filling up the whole color. You should have white spots left that it's that thin. So that's how you do your first coat. Okay, here's coat 5, and here's where we're at. Actually, the final coat of the pink. Now I'm gonna take some darker pink or like a hot pink and fade it up into the shoe. And then after that's all done, I'm gonna take a white paint, or I'm gonna do white. I'm gonna fade that around the character to make it pop. And then we're done with the background. Okay, I just mixed up this paint to be the shade of pink that I wanted on the outer rims. And we're gonna go ahead and mix it through the airbrush. I'm doing this because I think it'll add a little bit more flavor to the shoe than just being a pink background. Okay, I'm just cleaning out the paint so I can run some white through here, and then I'm gonna put down a white outline around the character to help it really pop. Add a couple white speckles in there, and then the background is done. Okay, let's go ahead and add some white. This stuff is already pre-mixed. It's Jacquard airbrush paint. I'm just gonna outline the stencil. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but the stencil is right around here. So I'm just going to outline them in white. Like I said, over and over, this really helps it pop and separate the pink character from the pink background. I'm also going to add a white fade around the swoosh, and I'm going to be painting the swoosh to be green like Patrick's shorts. So this will leave a nice fade around it and turn it white, which is a good coat to paint on. So then I'm adding a little bit more white to the bottom and then speckling. All I do is pull back on this, let the paint build up at the end, and then it splatters on there. Like that. These are just little techniques you learn as you do this a lot. I like the splatter look too. I do it on a lot of my pairs. People would leave the tape on before hand painting the characters, but I like to take it off because I trust my hand not to get paint on it. I'd rather do that than let it seep through. So I'm going to show you guys what this whole stencil thing is all about. So I'm going to untape it and show you. So right there, we have a perfect silhouette of Patrick that I can go ahead and paint in with my paintbrushes. So we got that, and I actually like to go ahead and just take all the tape off. So it's quite nice to have the paint down and to peel this off. So here we are. We got a perfect silhouette that we can paint in. The shoe looks good. The other shoe is going to be a different color, so doing the same process but in yellow. So I cut the stencil out on my Cricut. Here's the SpongeBob stencil. I'm just weeding it out. This is just permanent or removable vinyl. You can use removable, but I use permanent. It's not actually permanent, and it sticks to the shoe better. But here's the sticker. And then I just go ahead and stick it right to the shoe. Okay, so now before I spray, I have to find a good yellow that I want to use. But I have a good yellow, I think. I just don't have it in the airbrush form, so I had to mix it. Okay, so we're just about ready to spray the yellow on, but the airbrush trigger isn't working, which I have no idea why I had this time around, actually. So I'm gonna take it all out. This is supposed to be forward. Something's messing with the... That's weird. Everything looks fine. Go ahead and put this back in. This goes in first. And this button, the trigger, goes in. I can't show you the inside of the airbrush, but there's a little nozzle that it sits on. And that's how you put together the airbrush. That goes forward. And then this all goes through. If it all goes smoothly, this goes through. There we go. Okay, so obviously this is just the first coat, but here's kind of the vibe. SpongeBob and Patrick, two different colored shoes, that's what we're going for. So, coat one, we'll see how it turns out. I've done a colored before, or I've done two colored shoes before, and I think this is gonna come out really cool. I've actually done a SpongeBob and Patrick one where it's two different colors just like that, came out super cool, so. Okay, we're on coat two. I would say the yellow is only gonna take a few coats, just because yellow covers good with the airbrush, not with the paintbrush. I would never use yellow with the paintbrush unless I'm doing a character, but background, airbrush. So we're just gonna go ahead and lay down the second coat. You can go a little bit heavier on the second coat. Yeah, I like that color. I had to mix the exact yellow I wanted, but here's what the second coat came out as. So probably like 2 or 3 more coats in the yellow, and then we can go ahead and hand paint. Okay, I decided to skip the other coats, but it took about 3-4 coats to do this, and this is where we're at. You know what we need to do next though? We need to add the white around the character. So I'm getting my white airbrush paint. Also going to add a little bit of white around the edges of the shoe as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and airbrush a little bit of white into that. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna change the color of this swoosh. So I'm gonna give it a white fade around it. Okay, now that our background is all painted in, all we have to do is remove our tape and then we can start hand painting. So here's where SpongeBob's gonna go. We can get this up. Okay, here's what we got. There it is, full coat, background's all done, except I'm gonna white out this white swoosh, white out this white swoosh, and paint those different colors. And then finally, we can finish the project by painting in Patrick and painting in SpongeBob. So that's what we got. We're gonna go ahead and do that. Anyway, I'm gonna paint the inside red like SpongeBob's tie. So here's some red. The end is clogged. Nothing's working. There's some red. Don't know why I dumped that much. I'm not gonna use that much. And I'm gonna do the inside green for Patrick, but we're gonna start with the red. Now I finished the red. I want to go ahead and do the green for Patrick's shorts on here, but we don't have that exact green, so we're gonna mix it. So look down here. Gonna go green. This is just light green Angelus, and then I want, honestly, I'm gonna do this pale yellow because that should lighten it up a bit. Close. That's actually pretty good. I think I'm gonna use it. So can you guys see it? I actually do like that color. We're gonna use that. Okay, we got the insides all painted up. That's what it looks like. That's what that swoosh looks like. This is what this swoosh looks like. And now we can go ahead and paint the insides of the characters. So I'm gonna start with SpongeBob just because it's like the harder one to do, more detail. So I'm gonna go ahead and start here and then work my way onto Patrick, and then we'll be done with these. So let's do it. Okay, we're about 30 minutes in and we got the yellow laid down. Took many coats. Hand painting yellow sucks, but we're gonna go ahead and do the brown on his pants, except we're gonna lighten the brown up a little bit. I went ahead and painted some of the shadows off camera just to get it done, but here's what it looks like right now. I'm gonna go ahead and paint in the eyes. Okay, so we're adding the blue to the eyes, and then after we're done with the blue, we can add some black pupils, a little bit of highlights, and then we're all ready to start using our black paint pen to start doing all the outlines around the character. All right, so we got the blue down. Now it's time to add the pupils in. So we're gonna start on this side and just kind of look at a picture and freestyle it. Okay, now that we got the black down, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of white to the eyes. So we're gonna go add some here. It's like my favorite thing to do on the eyes. I just think it just makes the character pop. And it really comes out cool. And I like to add two. I'm adding one down there. Same thing over here. Add that. And then you add another one down there. And I think it makes it look so much cooler. Okay, we're getting really close to finishing this up before the line work, but now we just have to add the sponge holes here. So there's one up here. And then one below it as well. So just gonna be adding those in, and then we can do the line work on this and then move on to Patrick. Line work is my favorite part of doing this all, so that'll be fun. And there's a few over on the right that I have to add in as well. There. Then we gotta go mix the paint a little bit darker for the ones on the side since they got shadows in them. And I will also add another coat to these to make them a little bit darker, but almost time for line work. But we're actually just gonna go ahead, just gonna use this paint for the side Go a little bit darker on these. See what it looks like. This paintbrush has like a little stray hanging out that's causing the line to be weird. Paint that one in. Gotta make sure I don't touch the sock liner. There's that. And then there's a few more below it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now that we got the SpongeBob side done, I'm gonna go ahead and start painting in Patrick. And then when we're finished with this, we're done.
I just wanna be everything I am, not call it anyone else.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add in his eyes now. So, one right about there. Roughly, and then one right about here. Gonna make those a little bit bigger. Make this one a little bit bigger. That should be good. Okay, now that we got the eyes down, I'm gonna add the highlight to the eye. So we're gonna do one up here. Make that one a little bit bigger. The top one I like to make bigger. Like that. And then one down here. There. And then now we have to add his eyebrows and then we can do the line work. Oh wait, we also have to add the pattern, the little flower pattern to his pants. Okay, so I did add a little bit to the shoe. I added some like bubble circle things around the shoe to kind of add it some more detail in. I think it came out cool. Last thing you have to do, shoes are all done. I painted them, they're all painted up, finished. I have to seal them up with an acrylic sealer. Just have this matte acrylic sealer from Angelus. Run that through my airbrush, seal them up, and then they are done. Well, then we have to lace them up, but then they're done. So I'm gonna do that and show you guys them all laced up. Okay, I like to use matte because I think it makes everything look really clean. I like the matte with the shoe. It makes it look factory instead of like glossy, but some people like glossy. It's basically personal preference, but I matte out everything I do at the end, so running this finisher through. Make sure you clean your airbrush if you're gonna do this right after you do this because it will get sticky. So we're just gonna go ahead and add a light coat of matte finisher. This is gonna help it from scratching from, well, it won't wash off, but it will help this protect the paint and basically turn it into a wearable shoe. If you do the prep right, the prep is the most important. Okay, we're just finishing up, lacing these up, but while I'm lacing these up, I wanna say thank you guys for watching, and please let me know if the vlog was a fun watch because like I said in the beginning of the video, I get so lost in trying to figure out what's gonna fit the algorithm and what I should do. And I know I'm not doing anything too crazy where it's like not giving away $1 million like Mr. Beast, so I don't know how to format the videos to get attention, get views. And my whole goal is just to try to share my art with the world. I'm not trying to become like so famous because I want to be famous. I want to just share my art with the world and show people the stuff I do and the behind the scenes. And it's all out of intentions that I just love to create, and I want to be able to do that forever. I want to be able to create things and make money off my creations and sharing it with the world. And that's just the truth because it's what I love to do. But I know it requires talent for me to do this. I know it's not like a crazy Mr. Beast giving away $1 million, whatever. But it's hard to try to fit the algorithm and try to find the way to post my stuff, and you know, it gets you lost because as soon as I start overanalyzing stuff, I just decide not to post, or I try too much at once, and that's just all a bunch of junk. So let me know what you guys think of this type of video, and literally I'm finishing up lacing up the last shoe. I just tie a knot, and then I tuck the laces when I do like the final shot and everything. Actually, I'll just keep the camera rolling. I'll show you guys right now what it looks like if I can tuck these laces. So here's what we got. we got this side, Patrick, obviously. You guys have seen majority of this, but I'm just showing him all laced up. So, Patrick, SpongeBob, there we are. I actually loved SpongeBob as a kid too, so this was a fun pair to do. I still love the character and everything. I don't watch it anymore, maybe. But I really like the way these characters look. And yeah, and this pair is cool because it's like a dynamic duo, SpongeBob, Patrick, best friends, different shoes, different colors, but I think that looks pretty sick.